Hello there, welcome to part 3. This is Nigel's modelling bench, and here we're doing part 3 of the Whippet tank from Meng. And it's been built, as you can see, it's been painted and it's been modulated. Got the stripes on the front, got the stripes on here, and now it's time to start weathering it. But before I weather it, I want to give it a flat coat to sort of seal in the paint. But also before I do that, I want to put the decals on. So looking at the instructions here, I'm doing the Caesar, which is the one which is in Bovington, and I want to gloss coat where the decals go. Now various people online will tell you you don't need to do this, and in some instances you don't. But if you look at, for instance, here, you can hear as a rubber thing on there, you've got a slightly rough finish to the paint. By the way, if ever you are doing this, now and again you will get a very sandy, gritty finish to your paint. If that happens, the way to get rid of it, to get rid of that grittiness, take some Mr. Colour levelling thinner, okay, and spray that onto the model neat, and give it a very heavy-ish coat. Wet, you need to properly wet the model, and what it will do, it will melt the paint and take away that roughness, so you'll end up with a smooth coat. I had to do that on the top of the Mark IV tank. I should have showed you because it's a good little tip. We all know when sometimes you're airbrushing with Tamiya paints, you get this very dusty, grainy, almost like 1200 grit sandpaper. So yeah, it's worth remembering. But now what I'm going to do is gloss coat, and the reason I do this is to guarantee I don't get any silver in. I could put a decal on there and probably not get any silver in, but if I did, it would be a nightmare to get rid of. You'd have to cut away the silver and put varnish on, let it get underneath. I'd rather just gloss coat it where the decals go. So I'm using my trusty old clear for doing this. So, which is a bottle I've had, I didn't show you the bottle properly. This is a bottle I've had for 10-12 years, and it's started to yellow a little bit, but for military kits like this, it doesn't really matter. I would generally use aqua gloss, but I thought just for a change I'll use this today. So what I need to do is put the clear on in the areas where the decals are going to go. So I can see I've got one across the back of the, what's called the turret there, and one on the front. So I'm just going to test this on the finger and then lightly apply a coat. And what you need to do with this is try and go to the edges of the panels in case you do get some colour change. Sometimes when you put a clear coat on, you will get a colour change that doesn't go away. So it's best to try and go to the edge of the panels if you can. So I'm going to give this a good 2 or 3 coats. You can see, dry it back with the airbrush. And it takes a little while to dry, and it doesn't go glossy straight away. So it takes a little bit of work. And that is probably sufficient. The reason I'm doing this now is once I put the decals on, I can then put the matte coat on to seal them in. So say if I put the matte coat on, then I'd have to put the gloss coat on and then seal the decals in again, so or the decals, sorry. So I'm doing it now so I don't have to do all that twice. So got one decal there, goes on the front. There's one here up on the side. Now I'm not going to do this whole panel. Actually, I will, may as well. Just get it on like that. I go a bit heavier where the decals are actually going to go. And then here on the back. Gun moving, I don't like gun to stick. Same on the side here. And then the same on the other side. I've also worked out, my last video I was asking the question what colour are the spuds. Turns out they're wood, so that'll be fun. I can do them, and then I think I'll knock them about a bit before I start. It's a shame actually, because I took the time to go and fill in those little sprue connector points and straighten them out and everything, and turns out they're wood, so they wouldn't have been flat anyway. So I think that's that. Right, so let's start with some decaling now, or decaling, sorry. So what I've got here is a little pot of very warm water. I always use warm water with decals because it softens them. I've recently been asking about the Wingnut Wings decals because apparently they can be a little difficult to use, even though they're cartograph. I don't understand why, but apparently they're difficult to use. And Peter Field, one of my subscribers, recommended I look on large scale planes, and there's an article on there on using them, and they recommend using a hairdryer to heat them up to make them more supple and make them flow into curves better. So I always use very hot water. That may be the same effect, I don't know. I guess it cools faster, so I suppose using hot water and a hairdryer would be even better. But anyway, on this tank there's only a few decals, as you can see, and they all go onto flat surfaces, so it's not really too much of a problem. So I'm just going to show, I'm going to put this Caesar 2 decal on the front here and just show you how I do it. I tend to use the Microsol products. I use Microset and Microsol, and the way you use this, I put these bottles in my cotton buds bottle so they can't be knocked over, because the trouble is, as with many designs these days, most of your kitchen chemicals and stuff, they always come in a tall, thin bottle that's so easy to knock over. I don't understand why. If you look at all your bleaches and stuff and your toilet cleaners, you know, you can knock them over with a little finger. It's crazy. I don't know why they do it, but anyway, I digress. So that's what I do. I'm going to move this out of the way now so the camera doesn't get so whited out. Whited out, is that a term? I don't know. So all I need to do here is grab some tweezers. So I thought I was prepared and I wasn't. So I've cut the decal out of the sheet. I'm going to dip it into the warm water, let it get a nice soak, and then just leave it there. And then while that's going, I'm just going to get some of the blue Microsol on my brush and just brush it into the area that I'm going to be putting the decal. And remember, this has been gloss coated and left, I don't know, an hour to dry. So because the water's warm, this will react really fast. So you can see that's real time. That's how quick that's reacted. So that's ready to go now. So I can just literally place that on, slide it over, and there we go. And I'm looking at this decal. I'm wondering if it's out of register. But hey, if it is, then I'll just weather the hell out of it. So that's that done. So I'm just going to absorb any moisture with a cotton bud. Just roll the cotton bud over it, push any moisture out from behind it, and now you see the carrier film does need to find its way over those rivets at either end. So having the warm water and the Microset will help. Just dry that off there. So that's that one on and down. What I'm going to do now, I just wipe the brush off, dip it in the Microsol, and brush it over the top. Now with small decals, you shouldn't brush it, you should just dab it, because you're likely to move the decal out of the way, and then leave it alone, don't touch it, and that will go down like it was painted on. And there we go, all the decals on. That took, what, 10 minutes? I must say these Meng decals are lovely. They come off the paper, as you saw, in literally seconds, and they go down really nice. You can see that this one, I'm not going to touch it, but this Caesar here has got to go over these rivet heads, and it's going down nicely. But I have realised one of the reasons I stopped using Future as an undercoat for decals is you get this discoloration. I can't remember if that goes away or not. Luckily it's a military vehicle. If this was one of my Wingnut Wings kits, I would be absolutely tamping now. But look at it there, you can see the discoloration, how the Microset and Sol have affected the colouring, and put this white blemishing on there. So yeah, with this being a military vehicle, if it doesn't go away, I can deal with it. And also, if you're new to my channel and you're looking at my wood painting on the blocks, yeah, really nice, isn't it? I know what you're thinking, but if you don't know what I'm going to do now, have a look at my Fokker DR1 step 3 or 2, and also have a look at the ambulance build, and you'll see on there what I do with wood, and then you'll get an idea of how these are going to look when they've had the treatment. So yeah, there we go. So that's that bit done. Let these go off now for a day, and then flat coat and weathering. And here we are with our old matte varnish now. I normally use Tamiya matte varnish, XF85 is it? Well, I'd say normally, it's only been available for a couple of years I think. But yeah, I also bought this one, the AK Ultra Matte Varnish. So I've tried that on this. You just basically use it straight out of the bottle, straight into the airbrush and on. And it is certainly extremely matte. It is really taken away any shine at all. And also, if I can bring you in here, if we look at this decal on the front, if that doesn't look painted on, I don't know what does. It's and we can also look at the decals on the sides. No carrier film visible, nothing. Really, really nice. The one on the back, up around that bolt, yeah, lovely. So yeah. So the other thing I noticed is I don't know if it's me or if it's the paint. I certainly didn't notice it before, but it does look quite blotchy around this area and on the roof. Obviously, being a military kit, I don't really mind. In fact, if anything, it adds to the effect. But I don't recall seeing that before it was varnished, and I certainly don't recall ever seeing that with Tamiya flat. I mean, it could be that it's, you know, after an hour or so it's going to properly dry out right through and settle down, but it seems to dry pretty much instantly. So there we are. I sort of told myself I'd have this kit finished by the 11th of November in memory of all those poor souls, and to all intents and purposes I suppose it is, other than the painting of the wooden blocks to give them the wood effect, and you know, some would say that is a finished model, so it's near as damn it finished. So as far as I'm concerned, I achieved my goal. So I think what I'll do is I'll just end this video now and put up a shot with them with both together. And here they are. We've got the Mark IV here, German captured version, which was my 1 month build from October the 11th to November the 11th. Actually finished on November the 8th or 9th. And then this one I actually bought Saturday of last week, so 8 days ago. I started on it on Saturday evening, had it finished by Sunday afternoon, and then started painting it later on this week. So this one's a week, this one's a month, and I'm quite chuffed with that, really. For me to, I mean, this one is, other than what I need to do across the top here, I'm hoping to go to Telford in a minute and I'll find out what people do. And then this one needs to be sort of slightly weathered down. I'm not going to beat it up, I just want it, you know, like it's pretty much just come out of the factory, in the field, bit of dust, bit of dirt, but nothing too much. I don't like seeing models absolutely plastered in mud. So so there we go. And in the forefront here you can see there's the this is the wooden floor for my Fokker E4, all done now, ready to have this painted aluminium, and then the frame structure painted green. And there's the rear panel of it, the darker wood. So yeah, there we go. That's all just done with oils and stuff. You can look at my Fokker E4 build, Winged Up Wings Fokker E4, and see how that's done. So there we go. Thanks for watching. I'm gonna just give this a quick render, and then while it's uploading, I'll be on my way up to Telford, and probably spending lots of money that I don't have. I'm going to be retiring in 3 weeks and 5 days. Not that I'm counting. So I'll speak to you all soon, and thanks for watching. Please like, please subscribe. If you'd like me to see me build anything, or if you'd like to do a build along or buddy build, whatever, you know, just comment below, and we can sort that out. So yeah, thanks for watching. Like and subscribe. See you later. Bye.